KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams are in the NFC Championship game. They survived ice-cold conditions in Chicago Sunday to beat the Bears 20-17 in overtime. Harrison Mevis kicked a 42-yard field goal to win it. The Rams will play at Seattle Sunday for the right to go to the Super Bowl. The Lakers got 25 points and 13 rebounds from DeAndre Ayton to beat Toronto 110-93. Ayton was perfect from the floor. He made all 10 of his shots. The Clippers are part of the NBA's MLK celebration today. They have a day game at Washington. The Clippers are going for their sixth straight win. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked third in the country, pounded Maryland Sunday by 30, 97-67. Forward Gabriela Jaquez had 22 points. The Bruins are 7-0 in the Big Ten. The college football season ends tonight. Miami and Indiana will battle for the national championship. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
21. Oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
And as usual, we're blessed to start our week out with a meditation and mindfulness instructor. She's also a sound healer and sound bath specialist, a life coach and astrologer, numerologist, and a yoga teacher. All of that and more. Help us get ourselves together every single Monday with Mindful Mondays. Good morning, Saharah.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Happy MLK Day, and welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with faith, power, wisdom, and truth. The first new moon of 2026 occurred yesterday at 12:36 p.m. under the celestial influence of Capricorn. New moons are when the sun and moon are aligned, inviting us to embrace new beginnings. Each new moon wants our souls to explore new paths and possibilities, clarifying our aspirations, values, and desires. Most of all, turn inward to gain insight from within to navigate our life's path towards wholeness. This powerful new moon in Capricorn aids us in choosing sustainable intentions, knowing each choice structures the root of our foundation for the entire year. offering us a powerful blueprint to plant seeds for stable and grand fruit. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, reminding us to trust the magic of consistency, supporting us to select healthy practices as medicine for our souls. Now's the time to ground our dreams into reality, releasing illusions and delusions that suspend us between thought and action. The task is self-love, yielding sustainable growth, rooted in integrity, accepting the fulfillment of our dreams, knowing that all of our dreams, all of our aspirations cannot be rushed. Above all, knowing true success comes from the will of the Most High working through us. Fulfilling the purpose of our soul is the goal here. The call to action is to trust the process of change, believe in the magical gifts of consistency, giving ourselves permission to accept patience is the key to unlock all doors to manifest sustainable miracles. And I'll say that again. Give yourself permission to accept patience is the key to unlock all doors to manifest sustainable miracles. And going forward, let's lean into our Mindful Monday meditation. Pause for a moment and take a breath. Give yourself permission to be right here, right now, anchoring your feet to the earth, connecting to the foundation of your soul's gift. In this powerful time of resetting, relax, just breathe, and align to your inner wisdom. Open to receive divine guidance. Be right here, right now, in this moment, letting go. Let go and breathe. Be in this moment ready to embrace truth, trusting love from the Most High, trusting the wisdom within you. Relax, just breathe, feel grounded, and honor the divine clarity waiting to unfold for guidance within you. Relax, let go. Allow yourself to believe in the power of your inner wisdom and light. Take a breath, center yourself, relax, and call forward divine right action, aligning with that insight to unfold miracles in your life with grace. Breathe, relax, open, and listen, and mindfully allow yourself to feel centered. Allow yourself to feel empowered. Acknowledge the truth of faith, and faith yields divine order. Breathe, centering yourself, connecting to clarity. Connect to clarity with every breath. Connect to wholeness. Call on your angels, call on your ancestors, and breathe in divine guidance, trusting truth. Center yourself. Just take a big breath. And now exhale. And as you exhale, feel bold and ready to celebrate change, to celebrate the power you have within you to connect to the magic of your soul. Feel anchored and promise yourself to be unapologetic and trust the power of being on purpose. As you relax and breathe, believe all things are manifesting infinite possibilities and miracles are in your favor with grace and ease right here, right now, in this moment. Breathe and open yourself to our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. As you sit in your stillness, as you open your heart and mind, allow yourself to receive our Mindful Monday affirmation. This week is, today I give myself permission to embrace divine right action, unfolding miracles in my life with grace and ease. Today I give myself permission to embrace divine right action, unfolding miracles in my life with grace and ease. Relax, feel centered and grounded. Just breathe as you slowly begin to bring your awareness back to present time, giving yourself permission to embrace divine right action, unfolding miracles in your life with grace and ease. Bringing yourself back, take a breath, and make a promise to give yourself permission to embrace divine right action to unfold miracles in your life with grace and ease. Thank you, Dominique, Tavis Smiley, Miles, and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetically beautiful MLK Day and be mindfully blessed this week, allowing divine right action to unfold miracles in your life with grace and ease.
So we are all the way into Capricorn season now. New
All
moon
the
in
way
Capricorn.
deep.
All the way into Capricorn season. Time to put your head, what is it Kendrick says? Keep your head down and work like I do. Time to do that, right?
Right, and the gift is that it's the beginning of the year. It's a new moon. It's like a fresh start. We have a new 1 year. And, you got to understand that Capricorn intensifies the power of creating transformation. And remember that Capricorn is the ruler of discipline, structure, maturity, and manifestation. And it sets the path for an intense focus on long-term goals. And it allows us to get things done. It's urging us to choose to live a better life. And the task is to understand that when one door closes, another one opens. And know where you're standing today is the result of where you've been. So it's imperative to release the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual things that no longer serve your highest good. It's a new day. It's planting new seeds. It's a new crop. You till the soil. And we gain, greater insight by integrating our past with the present so we can yield fruit of the future and to be in present time as we do all of this. Because, I like to say, through chaos, doors open for new beginnings, and it's time to trust the wholeness of who we are and not the fragmentation of the world. That's how I look on it.
Yeah, well, that's a tall order, but we can do it. We can absolutely do it. Saharah, the 31st is the sound bath, right? That's I say 5:45 because if you get there after 6, you won't get there at all. That's at Yoga House, right?
Right. Yeah, at Yoga House. And then, I'm always in my office on Sundays and Mondays, and you can call Elise to schedule an appointment. And the KBLA listeners and the fire survivors are always welcome with a special rate. And, and just remember, and I'm going to put this out there, that Mindful Monday, it serves as a gentle reminder to pause and to reconnect with the essence of who we are. And we have this sacred opportunity to step away from the noise of our daily life and allow ourselves to be in a space of reflection and rejuvenation. So, if you miss KBLA today or you want to share this with somebody else, tune into the app and the meditations are there, and just be here now and just let's create a real new year, a real new space for ourselves, a real new perspective. And understand, again, the chaos is just an opportunity for us to be on purpose.
If you want to reach out to Elise, 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. You can schedule a reading, an appointment, a personal yoga class, or a sound healing, a sound bath, which is what I would recommend with Saharah, just by calling Elise. Saharah Ali, thank you so much, as always.
Have a blessed week.
Absolutely. And so it is. Well, we're about to unpack what's going on the national, international scene, as well as around here. 800-920-1580 if you got a thing to say about a thing. 800-920-1580. As usual, we got a lot to talk about.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me, how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Okay, I saw a really disgusting little video on on Instagram this weekend about the water bottles and how, everybody's trying to use water bottles because we don't want to use plastic, and how they're developing black mold inside, like in all the little crevices, that mechanism that, makes the water come from the bottle into your mouth. So I went and checked all of my water bottles, and sure enough, they do have that mold. So one of my projects for the weekend. I'm just saying it because check yours. You might need to clean them with they suggest use a denture tablet. I didn't do that. Soak them in vinegar, scrub them with a brush, like a toothbrush, or Q-tip, and get all the little, because when you open it up and you open all the little plastic stuff in there, there's black stuff. Ew, it's gross. It's black mold. Okay, I'm a germaphobe. I was a germaphobe before we got to COVID, and of course it's much worse now, but so that was my little project, scrubbing every one of these water bottles. And for your kids too, we take them everywhere. They're wet. So apparently the Pentagon has put 1,500 active duty soldiers on alert for possible deployment to Minnesota. It was crazy to me. They already have well over 1,000 ICE agents there. They've continued to surge that. They've got their police departments. And now they say 2 infantry battalions of the Army's 11th Airborne Division have been given prepare to deploy orders. It's a unit in Alaska, and apparently they specialize in moving in freezing cold conditions. So they are on standby for Minnesota. This is where we are now in America. Happy King Day. You think about MLK. When I think about MLK, I think about what got him on the outs with America, beyond J. Edgar Hoover, who was obsessed with taking him down, with America, even even the respectability politics black America, was his opposition to the Vietnam War. Can you imagine, with all of these conflicts that we have going on now, our president, who has a recycled Nobel Peace Prize that he got by holding a whole country over this woman's head, and now he has a Nobel Peace Prize, which are not transferable, by the way, but he has one anyway. But meanwhile, the Ukraine war, which he said he was going to stop on day one, still going, still sucking up billions of our dollars. The war in Gaza, which we're supposedly in a ceasefire, but why are people getting killed there every day then? Why are they continuing to destroy Palestinian infrastructure and kill people if it's a ceasefire? That's still going. We just started one up with Venezuela kidnapping their president. You think that's just going to go away? That's not how it is. It's always easiest when they roll in there and knock down statues and, grab someone. The problem is the years and decades that follow that, and the trillions of dollars, blood and treasure that we invest in foreign wars, forever wars. He said he was going to stop that. No, he's just started another one. Now we're threatening Greenland, which is ramping everything up because Europe is not going to stand by and just let us attack Denmark, which is what it is when you attack Greenland. So I think of Dr. King and his anti-war stance, even when it wasn't convenient. And it wasn't convenient because he came out against the Vietnam War before it was popular to do so, and may have lost his life as a result of that. We don't know. But Nobel Peace Prize, I don't think so. Marching for peace, definitely necessary. Our president wants to double the defense budget. At the same time, he's telling you he cannot help you pay for health insurance, which you could say, well, that's a private citizen's problem, but really it isn't. First of all, it's our tax dollars that pay for, all of the public services, right? Whether it's public hospitals or public schools, roads, police officers' salary, everything. We pay for it. But you're telling me we can't afford to pay for our own health insurance with our own money, but we can send $40 billion to Argentina, billions and billions to Israel, to the Ukraine, now Venezuela. Yeah, they're making money off the oil, but guess who's going to end up paying to fix that oil infrastructure? You and me. But we can't have universal health care. Make it make sense. I don't claim to be a premier expert on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That would be Tavis Smiley. His show comes on after mine today. He's written a whole book about it, right? About King's life, the last years of life that King had, and when he became unpopular for speaking out forcefully against the war. That was the Vietnam War. Can you imagine all the wars he would have to be speaking out against now? And by the way, I'm sure they'll have an incredible conversation because among Tavis's guests today is Dr. Cornel West, who, between him and Tavis, the scholarship on Dr. King will run pretty deep on that panel. So if you're looking for that, if you want to weigh in, this is your place, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Let's go to Carl, calling us from L.A. Good morning, Carl.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm great. I was just thinking about Dr. King and when he was trying to put that black union together for the black truck driver trash men. I wonder if we still need that today from the West Coast to the East Coast. That would be a good thing if we could form one. Maybe, I don't know if we need one or not. Maybe somebody could explain to me, is that what needs to be formed here in America?
I think we always need unions, Carl. I mean, especially, right?
Yeah, all black.
I mean, whether it's all black or not all black, I'm not sure what the benefit is of it being all black. I think unions need to organize whoever's working in that field. But if we need a black union, I mean, for me, the bottom line is we need unions because, especially in this phase where we are now, with American capitalism, it's so predatory with the oligarchs, the billionaires having not just the politicians' ears, but actual appointments, actual power within the government. Unions are what brought us weekends and 8-hour days and overtime pay. And not just for people in the unions, everyone, eventually gets these benefits. So I think in this kind of time, a union is more important than ever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I seen Sister Kamala yesterday, the vice president. I was somewhere and the TV was popped up and she was at the Interfaith breakfast in Chicago, and I had to catch it. I just sat there and watched it. She looked like she's on top of her game. I mean, she had who's there, black folks, preachers, politicians. They was all there celebrating Dr. King's life and legacy. And I was wondering, is she still president material? I don't know. I mean, she looked like it up there when she was speaking. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think she's running. I do think she's running. It seems like she clearly is running for president. Just the moves that she's making. I know her book is selling really well. Personally, I don't love the idea of her running, even though I think she'd be a much better president than the one we have now or the last one we had. But I feel like she's still going to be encumbered with the Biden legacy. And she'll have to fight that off this election cycle. I almost wish she would sit this one out and come in 2032. She's young enough, she's young enough to do it. But I feel like she is running. What do you say, Carl?
I don't know. Maybe does she? I want to know, do she think she really has the votes from the people, from all people, like you say? I want to know, does she really feel that she's got the votes and the people to back her to get her up in there? I mean, because there's still a lot of this 47 stuff going on out here in the streets now. This nonsense.
Well, yeah. So, does she have the votes? Will they be counted? Will we have a free and fair election? I think those are actually valid questions, not just conspiracy theory questions. At this point, when we see the moves that the president is making to control the election outcomes, to disenfranchise some voters, meaning take them off the voter rolls, to limit mail-in voting. He's doing all of these moves. I feel like they cheated already in 2024. I feel like they cheated already. The data seem to show it, although I can't prove it. But if anyone can win is the question. If they'll even secede, if we'll even have an election. We got a lot to talk about. Carl called 800-920-1580. I encourage you to do the same. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says Iran is halting executions tied to anti-government protests.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and there's no plan for executions.
Speaking at the White House, he offered no details but warned the U.S. is ready to act if the crackdown continues. Federal prosecutors have charged at least 20 people in an alleged scheme to fix college basketball games. Players from more than a dozen Division I teams were involved, including former LSU and Chicago Bulls guard Antonio Blakeney. The indictment also alleges rigged games in China. And civil rights pioneer Claudette Colvin will be laid to rest this week. A viewing is set for January 23rd at Bush Lawn Funeral Home in Birmingham, Alabama, with funeral services the next day at Greater Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Colvin passed away last Tuesday at age 86. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams are in the NFC Championship game. They survived ice-cold conditions in Chicago Sunday to beat the Bears 20-17 in overtime. Harrison Mevis kicked a 42-yard field goal to win it. The Rams will play at Seattle Sunday for the right to go to the Super Bowl. The Lakers got 25 points and 13 rebounds from DeAndre Ayton to beat Toronto 110-93. Ayton was perfect from the floor. He made all 10 of his shots. The Clippers are part of the NBA's MLK celebration today. They have a day game at Washington. The Clippers are going for their 6th straight win. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked 3rd in the country, pounded Maryland Sunday by 30, 97-67. Forward Gabriela Jaquez had 22 points. The Bruins are 7-0 in the Big Ten. The college football season ends tonight. Miami and Indiana will battle for the national championship. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed. Carl called me at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I invite you to do the same. And, Let's chop it up. Let's figure it out. You know, we were talking about Keith Porter Jr. with Dr. Melina Abdullah, and I'm happy to see that the national media is finally starting to pick up on this story that, once again, just like with Trayvon Martin, it is we, the people, particularly black people, black press, but also
everyday people who are insisting on talking about Keith Porter Jr., posting it on their social media. And just like with Trayvon Martin, after a while, the media will pick up if the people do not let go of something. Why are people so concerned about this? And while it is important that we talk about Renee Good, the woman, the mama who was killed by ICE agents trying to get away from them in her car, it's also, important that we amplify the story of this black man who was killed on New Year's Eve by an off-duty ICE agent. He was alone in a parking lot just celebrating the new year. This man goes back into his apartment, allegedly, comes back out in full tactical gear, and shoots this man dead. And I think this is very emblematic of where we are and why we have to pay attention. We have to be brave. We have to be courageous. I think that's the best thing to do. Who wants to be living their life in fear and trying to hide and cower? I don't. I do think it's true that when we fight, we win. And it's also up to us to elevate the stories and force the mainstream media to pay attention. And that's what's happening with Keith Porter Jr. People are starting to pay attention. This man is a black man. He's a dad. He's a girl dad. He's also a U.S. citizen, born and raised, right? Born and raised in South Central, living in Northridge. And so this idea that it's not our fight or it's not our business, hopefully you guys have disabused yourselves of that idea. Because if we're deluding ourselves, if we think somehow we're going to have some little special aura around us that says, American freedmen, FBA, Black American, untouchable by police, since when? By ICE, since when? Since never. And the story of Keith Porter Jr. illustrates that strongly. It also is a reminder that when this kind of tragedy strikes, we need to step up. When we think about the fact that the ICE agent who murdered Renee Good has $1 million that's been raised for him in a GoFundMe, which, by the way, seems to violate the terms of service of GoFundMe. But, they have such a big double standard, right? They will take down fundraisers for families, but they will keep fundraisers up for killer cops, even though it seems to be against their own terms of service, their own rules. So this guy's got $1 million raised for him. A guy who murdered a woman in broad daylight in cold blood. $1 million. Meanwhile, the two daughters of Keith Porter Jr., who now have to grow up without their father, are struggling to get donations to their GoFundMe. And this is a story I find myself saying over and over again, whether it's Kyle Rittenhouse or Derek Chauvin. People want, or the lady, remember the lady that called the little kid N-word? A little kid? She got $1 million. Why is America so quick to reward white supremacists and killers on GoFundMe? Well, I was happy to see a little turnabout with the United Auto Workers union guy who called the president a pedophile protector, which I thought was a very accurate descriptor. And then the president flipped him off and told him F you. Very presidential. Well, his GoFundMe was, I think, up to either 600,000 or 800,000, and they said, enough, find something else to donate to. I'm good, which was real classy. But I also love that people were donating to him. Even though so far he's just suspended, he's still kept his job because his union is standing with him. But I think it's, a nice turnabout, right? Instead of the killer, the racist, the Karen getting hundreds of thousands, in this case, is the worker attempting free speech. In any case, if you want to help really raise the daughters of Keith Porter Jr., to help make sure they go to college and that they're okay, tinyurl.com/donate for Keith. There's more than one of these. This is the one set up by their mother to finance the daughters' lives. And it's tinyurl.com/donate for Keith. And I would recommend that you go there if you want to do something to help his family. All right, we're going to go to Fred calling us from L.A. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. 3 things, and I'm fast as usual. Okay, the ICE agent that shot Keith Porter, there's no indication that he's going to be indemnified by the federal government. He's not the Border Patrol agent that swung into action in Uvalde. Number 2, Ms. Molina said some people have 8 houses, and if you cut up all the houses, it might eliminate homelessness. There's probably some truth to that. You take my houses, but I sold them. But anyway, houses have units have fixed costs such as the property tax, the insurance. The tenants stop up the toilet, they break the fixtures, and you're a homeowner. Even if you just could get the cost down to $1,000 a month, where are the homeless people going to get the money to buy a roll of toilet paper, let alone stop up the toilet?
Well, we assume that once they got a home and stabilized, they would also have jobs. I mean, that's the idea, right? It's hard to get a job and keep a job when you do not have a shower or a place to put your clothes. But to your point, that's why they talk about transitional housing, Fred, right? Where people get services to help them become job ready and to work through whatever issues they may have. But also, it's why some folks are saying the government needs to get back into the housing business. And we're not talking about projects. We're talking about, houses, apartments, places where people can build their lives. There's no reason why that stock couldn't be owned by city, county, state, or even federal government. I mean, honestly, the Metro owns a bunch of houses, right, that they've taken for different projects due to eminent domain, ended up not using. Those are the types of opportunities that could be turned into homeless housing or transitional housing. And so, yeah, so then that whoever owns the buildings has to manage the upkeep. Does it cost the city more to pay $1,000 a month for broken fixtures and stopped up toilets, or does it cost them more to clean city streets, deal with emergency room visits from people without warm shelter, who get sick, who get injured, who damage property outside? I mean, you follow what I'm saying, Fred?
Oh, you made your point, but again, the homeless people, they, in my opinion, don't respect housing. But the last point, anyway, Melina said,
keep them on the streets?
Well, they're there. Molina said that ICE was created in 2003. That's true. The Democrats created it, but for a different reason. The Border Patrol used to be under the Justice Department, but they moved it on to the Executive Department.
Well, I mean, the Department of Homeland Security, which is which houses ICE, was created by Republicans in the wake of 9/11, and so wherever ICE goes, it's still under Homeland Security, which wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for. And it was supposed to go away. It was supposed to be it was supposed to sunset. It was supposed to go away. It was not meant to be a permanent spy on your own people and police your own people agency. That's what it's turned into. It was supposed to be protecting us from foreign terrorism.
Well, yeah, but
doesn't even protect us from domestic terrorism at this point.
But the ICE part, the immigration part, came from the old came from the old International Immigration and Natural Service, and they brought it under the executive branch, thinking with a Democratic president, they can that would be a de facto.
Of course, all of that is moot if we abolish it. All of that is moot if we abolish it.
Well, that's not going to happen. We need that. We need the Border Patrol. We need immigration.
Border Patrol and ICE is, you can have Border Patrol and don't have ICE.
But you still need internal enforcement.
For what?
And that's what you don't want. You want a de facto amnesty.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a de facto amnesty. I want a functional immigration system that's consistent and non-racist. Can we get that?
Thank you, Dominique. We both made our points. Bye.
Well, yeah. So you didn't really finish the one about homeless people don't respect housing, and your point was, and they're on the streets. Yeah, well, if there are issues, and I think that's a really sweeping generalization, because there are many different kinds of folks that end up unhoused, including lots of people you don't even know are unhoused, Fred, because they're living in their cars, or they're sleeping on folks' couches, or they have a they have a membership to a gym where they go and take a shower and then go to a job, but that job doesn't afford them housing. So you're talking about obviously mentally ill or obviously drug addicted people, which are the perhaps most noticeable folks that we see on the streets. But that's your stereotyping and your projection of what all unhoused people are. And the vast majority of unhoused people, you don't even know they're unhoused. They may be waiting on you at your fast food joint of choice, or your restaurant of choice or gas station. You don't know. You don't know that at all. And there are people who don't respect housing who are unhoused, and people that don't respect housing who are housed. And so I would imagine it's much easier to respect housing, as you say, when you've had your needs addressed, whether it's the health needs, mental health support, right? Food, clothing, shelter, all of those things, which is why transitional housing is called supportive housing, and then permanent supportive housing is where folks can live and still continue to get support for the issues that either landed them on the streets or issues they developed while living on the streets. I'm not a drug addict. I rarely drink, a little bit of recreational drinking here and there. But would I stay that way if I was living on the streets? If I was unhoused, I might take up drugs just to numb myself out. The fact that I'm living on the street. I don't have a place to lie my head. I don't have a drawer to put my stuff. I don't have a private room to go to and take a shower. You don't know what you would do. What we're talking about is whatever it takes to get people to the point where they can maintain their lives in housing with jobs. And Carl in the comments on YouTube says being homeless is no fun, Fred, and I think that's probably the understatement of the year. Fred called me at 800-920-1580. It's not too late for you to do the same. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Worried about unpredictable utility bills this winter? LADWP's Level Pay makes budgeting a breeze. With Level Pay, you'll receive a monthly bill that stays the same. No surprises. Even past due amounts can be rolled in, and you'll skip those seasonal spikes from heating your home. Sign up today at ladwp.com/levelpay. That's ladwp.com/levelpay, or call 1-800-DIAL-DWP and take control of your bill.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-237-8585. That's 800-237-8585. Again, that's 800-237-8585.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this?
We didn't think so.
You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
You are, and I'm so glad you're here. I always am, when I get to station and I log on, I'm always happy to see everyone at KBLA 1580 on YouTube. And you can find me on socials at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. You can find the station at KBLA 1580. You can find me today in the parade, the Kingdom Day Parade. I'll be joining the Black Lives Matter LA float in advocating for Keith Porter Jr. And it's going to be a beautiful day, so it should be lovely. And thanks once again to everyone who came out in Long Beach. I was really impressed. That's what I started to say last hour by the young men that I was riding with, and I certainly want to give them a shout out. We had young high school students who are very focused on their studies and their futures and their activism, including one young man who's a senior and headed to Yale, so to study engineering. All right. I like to tell those stories because y'all, we sometimes like to threaten. We threaten to abandon our young people when we don't keep in touch with how brilliant they really are and start stereotyping them and accepting the mainstream interpretation. So apparently, President Trump is now blaming his lack of a Nobel Peace Prize on his desire to take over Greenland. He says he no longer thought purely of peace, and that he's feeling like he's being retaliated against. I mean, what do you expect to happen? You want a peace prize, but all you do is beat the drums of war. But that's what he's saying now. And that's not good, because if he's looking at the push to take Greenland and defy NATO as revenge, then he will surely do it, because he's a very vengeful little man. And it would put us at odds with Denmark, with NATO. It's also tanking trade relations between us and the European Union. So this has got implications for the budget, for international relations, for diplomacy, for the future of NATO, and for the economy. Not just for the Nobel Peace Prize that is so coveted by Trump, even though Maria Corina Machado already tried to give him her Peace Prize, even though the committee said they're not transferable. And you could tell his attitude towards her improved markedly. It's like, you could maybe get your country back if you just give him a trinket. Crazy. Okay, we only have a minute, so I'm gonna do the short version. But the FBI promised after the ICE agent killed Renee Good in Minneapolis that they were launching an investigation. However, apparently that investigation is already over. They said that the Justice Department said they had sufficient grounds to open an investigation, but the Washington Post now says that there is no longer an investigation. And that the Department of Justice doesn't just investigate because some congressperson thinks we should. They say there's thousands of shootings every year where law enforcement is put in danger by individuals. This is how they're characterizing it. And apparently, according to the Washington Post, that would be one of the 4 shortest federal investigations in history. That maybe, we don't know, but we know that according to Keith Ellison, the Attorney General there, the feds were blocking the state investigators from getting any information that they needed to look into this case. So maybe that's why they opened the investigation, then don't follow up on it and just sort of let it fade away. We are talking MLK, we are talking civil rights, and yes, some policing when we come forward. Dr. Philip Solomon joins us next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says Iran is halting executions tied to anti-government protests.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped. And there's no plan for executions.
Speaking at the White House, he offered no details but warned the U.S. is ready to act if the crackdown continues. Federal prosecutors have charged at least 20 people in an alleged scheme to fix college basketball games. Players from more than a dozen Division I teams were involved, including former LSU and Chicago Bulls guard Antonio Blakeney. The indictment also alleges rigged games in China. And civil rights pioneer